I realized I had to change when I looked in the mirror one day and didn't recognize the man that was standing there. I'm Daniel Meyer. I'm 55 this year. I work in IT currently for the newspaper industry. My highest official weight was 427 pounds. I suspect I was higher than that, just never got weighed because there were very few places that could actually weigh me. But to be honest, I didn't think about it a lot. It's your work and your college, and your crisis, your families, all of this takes precedent, and you never look back at yourself. Well, really for my entire adult life, when I walked into a room, I knew I was going to be the fattest person in there. There just wasn't any question at all. A1Cs were off the chart. My triglycerides were in the triple digits, like thousands. Every number that you can measure was bad. At that point, I got a new doctor. He put me on a whole bunch of drugs, injectables, pills. The bill one year was $16,000 and some dollars just for medications. Now I look back and just getting out of bed was an ordeal. Me and my wife went on a cruise in 2004, and I walked into the dining room one day and sat down in the chair in front of 1,000 people, and it just disintegrated, and I rolled across the room and had to have help getting up. And the next night at the dining room, because the cruise is all about hospitality, they had a special chair for me. And that's not something you want to think about. The eating has been the hardest part of the journey, the interesting journey. Again, I grew up kind of poor. We had the school lunch program and all of this. And they teach you how to eat in health school, health class in school. But I was of that era where it was, no animal fats, they were bad, eggs were going to kill you. When you went and had the breakfast, the school provided breakfast, it was biscuits and gravy. You learned to eat these calorie-rich, dense foods. Moving forward into the future, when I learned how to eat, I realized I probably had a diet that was 80 or 90% bad carbohydrates, flour, sugar. I realized I had to change when I looked in the mirror one day and didn't recognize the man that was standing there. It sounds funny, the diabetes diagnosis didn't do it, the imminent danger of heart disease. You would call it morbidly obese for 30 years. None of that did it. What did it was one day I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the man standing there. He wasn't who I hoped to become. He wasn't who I believed I was. When that realization hit was how many 430-pound 50-year-olds are going to make it to 55. And I just realized that I was going to be at my desk one day and drop dead. After discussing with my doctor that I should just eat better and lose weight, I started following very strictly the food pyramid and the American Diabetes Association's, they call it now the diabetic plate diet. It's still basically the same. It's some lean protein, but 75 to 80% carbohydrate. And so I'd eat cereals for breakfast and low protein, no protein, very little fat, this sort of thing. And it got worse. I felt worse. I had no energy. I'd be hungry an hour after I ate, headaches. Again, I was already taking 12 plus Advil, ibuprofens a day. When I went to talk to the doctor about it, all this was getting worse. He just basically told me that diabetes was a progressive and inevitably fatal disease. And if we managed it right, we could slow it down, but this was just the way it worked. That was the point I realized I was asking the wrong folks for help. Just nothing was working out. And when I told the doctor, look, I'm desperate, this isn't working, what am I doing wrong? He would not believe me when I told him what it was I was eating. His take on it was that I must be mistaken or lying to him about what I was doing. This was the point I think I realized that, again, I was asking the wrong people, and I needed to go find some actual help. Since I joined Rowlett Transformation Center, I have lost an additional 100 pounds for a total of 200 pounds. I have put on muscle weight. Most of my loss has been in fat. I have improved my conditioning. I'm riding a mountain bike 20 miles a day. I'm in better condition now than I was when I was 15 years old, and I'm 55 this year. Two things really surprised me on this journey. One was the physical work, although it's obviously hard work, is not the difficult part. It's mostly a head game, and it takes some time to understand that. The other big surprise for me was how much of my mental health or resilience was tied up in my physical fitness. As I was getting older and my weight continued to go up, I recognize now that I was losing a lot of that mental resilience. It really, really surprised me that the physical aspect of that was so intrinsic to the mental aspect of it. I sort of still see the fat man in the mirror, but now I recognize who he is, and I see that he's a work in progress. For the first time in my life, I'm not morbidly obese. If I want to do it today, I can do it. It's just that simple.